Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to explore one of the most exciting trends reshaping modern education: gamified learning. Whether you teach elementary students, high schoolers, or adult learners, the principles we'll discuss apply across the board. Gamified learning takes familiar game mechanics, things like earning points, unlocking levels, completing challenges, and collecting rewards, and weaves them directly into the learning experience. The goal isn't to turn your classroom into an arcade. Instead, it's about borrowing what makes games so naturally engaging and channeling that energy into genuine educational outcomes. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the key features, share a real classroom example, and highlight the benefits that research consistently supports. By the end, you'll have practical ideas you can start using right away. Let's dive in. So, what exactly do we mean by gamified learning? At its core, it's the practice of incorporating game design mechanics into educational settings. We're talking about four main pillars. First, points. Students earn them for completing tasks, answering questions, or helping peers. Points give instant feedback and a tangible sense of progress. Second, levels. Just like in a video game, learners advance through stages of increasing difficulty, which keeps them challenged without feeling overwhelmed. Third, challenges. These are structured tasks or quests that push students to apply their knowledge creatively and solve problems. They add excitement and purpose. And fourth, rewards. This includes badges, certificates, leaderboard recognition, or even small privileges. Rewards reinforce positive behavior and effort. The magic happens when these elements work together as a system. Individually, they're motivating. Combined, they create a loop of engagement, effort, and achievement that mirrors what makes games so compelling. This isn't about dumbing things down. It's about smart design that respects how brains respond to feedback and progress. Let's look at the three key features that define gamified learning. The first is friendly competition and rewards. When students see a leaderboard or earn badges, it taps into their natural desire to achieve and be recognized. This isn't about creating cutthroat competition. It's about celebratory, positive rivalry where everyone can succeed at their own level. Team-based contests can be especially powerful for building class community. The second feature is versatility across platforms. Gamification works whether you're using digital tools, physical classroom games, or a mix of both. A quiz app on tablets works great, but so does a well-designed card game or a classroom scavenger hunt. The key is matching the approach to your students and your resources. Third, and perhaps most importantly, gamified learning centers on fun, motivation, and participation. When learning feels enjoyable, students naturally invest more effort. They're not just compliant, they're genuinely engaged. Even students who typically resist traditional methods often come alive in a gamified environment. These three features together create a powerful framework for effective instruction. Let me paint you a picture of how this works in a real classroom. Imagine it's the end of a unit on the American Revolution. And instead of handing out a traditional review worksheet, the teacher fires up an interactive quiz platform on the smartboard. Students pull out tablets or their phones and join the session with a game code. The room immediately buzzes with energy. Questions appear on screen with a countdown timer. Students compete individually or in small teams, racing to select the correct answer. After each question, the leaderboard updates live and the class erupts. It's focused chaos, but it's productive. Points accumulate for correct answers and speed, and the teacher has built-in bonus rounds for teamwork questions. By the end of the session, the top scorers are celebrated, but so are the most improved players, because the teacher has set the system to reward growth, not just knowledge. Here's what matters. Every student in that room just reviewed key content multiple times, and most of them didn't even realize they were studying. That's the power of gamification in action. Now let's talk about why this approach works so well, grounded in what research tells us. The first major benefit is increased motivation and focus. Game mechanics activate the brain's reward system. When students earn points or level up, they get a small dopamine hit, the same neurochemistry that keeps gamers playing for hours. In an educational context, this translates to sustained attention and a willingness to tackle difficult material. Students stop asking, "When is this going to be over?" and start asking, "Can we do one more round?" The second benefit is active participation. In a traditional classroom, it's easy for students to hide in the back and disengage. But when learning is gamified, every student becomes a player. There's no passive option. Even typically reluctant learners find themselves drawn in because the stakes feel different. It's a game, not a test. Third, gamification reinforces learning through playful repetition. Flashcards feel tedious, but answering the same questions in a competitive quiz format, students will do it enthusiastically, again and again, and each repetition strengthens neural pathways and improves retention. So how do you actually bring gamification into your classroom without feeling overwhelmed? Here are 4 practical steps. First, start small. You don't need to overhaul your entire curriculum overnight. Begin with one gamified activity per week. Maybe it's a 5-minute competitive quiz at the end of Friday's class, or a weekly challenge board where students earn points for bonus tasks. Starting small lets you test what works without adding stress to your planning. Second, set clear rules from day one. Students need to understand exactly how points are earned, what the rewards are, and how teams work if you're using them. Clarity prevents arguments and keeps the focus on learning, not gaming the system. Third, celebrate growth, not just achievement. If only the top scorers get recognized, you'll lose the students who need gamification most. Build in rewards for most improved, best collaborator, or most creative solution. Every student should feel like winning is possible. Fourth, iterate and adapt. Pay attention to what your students respond to. If a particular game format falls flat, change it. If certain rewards lose their appeal, rotate them. Your gamification strategy should evolve with your class. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Gamified learning isn't a fad or a gimmick. It's a research-backed approach that aligns with how our brains naturally learn best. We're wired to respond to challenges, feedback, and rewards. When we design our instruction with those principles in mind, remarkable things happen. Students who once watched the clock start watching the leaderboard. Students who never raise their hand start shouting out answers. The quiet kid in the corner starts strategizing with a teammate. Gamification doesn't replace good teaching. It amplifies it. It gives you another set of tools to reach students who might otherwise slip through the cracks. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one lesson next week and gamify it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Start with a simple point system or a team quiz. Watch what happens to the energy in your room. Then iterate, refine, and expand. Because when you level up your classroom, your students level up too. Engage them, motivate them, help them achieve. Thank you.